Assalamualaikum, my name is Muhammad Abdul bin Azman. So this is the simulation video for my individual assignment for C programming for engineers. So this is the flowchart for pattern 1 of LED configuration. The first is we need to initialize LED pins, which is 2, 3 and 4, and then it will scan is the LED eye is less than or equals to 3. If it's true, the LED eye will turn on and other LED will turn off, and it will give delay 300 milliseconds, and if it's false, it will end. Next is for the pattern 2 of LED configuration. First, we need to set pin for 3, 2 and 4 LED and initialize LED pins. And then, if I is less than or equals to 3, if it's true, turn on the LED 1, 2 and 3 and give delay 300 milliseconds, and turn off the LED 1, 2 and 3 and give delay for 300 milliseconds. And if it's false, the loop will end. Next is for the pattern 3. So first we put start and set pin for LED 2, 3 and 4 and initialize the LED pins. So if I is less than or equal to 3, if it's true, turn on the LED 1 and 3 and turn off the LED 2, give delay for 300 milliseconds, and turn off the LED 1, LED 3 and turn on LED 2, give delay 300 milliseconds, and if it's false, the loop will end. So next is for the overall flowchart. First we set pin for LED and buttons and initialize pattern 1. And then if the button is pressed, execute pattern 2. If not, initialize pattern 1 again. So proceed if the pattern 2 is executed, and then go to the button press, and if the button press, execute to pattern 3, and if it's not, execute pattern 2, and then after execute pattern 3, go to the decision. Is the button press? If the button press, initialize the pattern 1 again. If not, continue to execute pattern 3. Now I'm going to start to do the simulation using the online simulator. The circuit should be configured like this. And now let's look at the coding. So the first is the definition statement. This define statement assign names to pin numbers to make your code more readable. So pin number 5 is to connect the push button, and pin 2, 3 and 4 is to connect LED 1, 2 and 3. For this command, pattern store the current LED pattern, which is 1, 2, 3. Last button state track the previous state of the button. For debouncing, last debounce time is used to track when the last button state change occurred, and debounce delay prevents button to bounce, which is multiple triggers from one press. The next part is setup function, which is the one that call once at the start. LEDs are configured as output pins. The next one is loop function. Loop runs continuously and reads the current state of the button, which is low equals to press, high equals to not press. Next is for the debounce logic. If the button state change, reset the debounce timer, and if the state has been stable for 50 milliseconds and the button is now pressed, advance to the next pattern. After 3 patterns, it loops back to loop 1. Next is pattern control switch. It calls the correct pattern function based on the current pattern value. Then we go to the pattern 1, which is sequential blink using for loop. Loops from LED 1 to LED 3, which turn all LEDs off first, then turn on the current one, which is I, for 300 milliseconds. Check button allows interruption during the pattern to change it. Next is pattern 2, which is all LEDs blink together using while loop. Blinks all LED ons, wait then off, then waits. Only runs once per loop due to count less than 1. Again, use check button to allow early exit. Next is pattern 3, which is alternate pattern using do while loop. Alternates LED patterns. First, LED 1 and LED 3 on and LED 2 off. And then next is LED 1 and LED 3 off and only LED 2 on. This keeps toggling until a button press is detected via check button. The do while ensure it runs at least once. The last one is check button, which is interrupt helper. This function checks if the button is pressed during a pattern, waits for release to prevent rapid switching, and advance to next pattern and exits the current pattern early. And now we're gonna start the simulation. Press simulate. After running the simulation, the circuit will immediately run the first pattern of LED configuration, where all LED will blink in sequential manner, which is LED 1 on and LED 2 and 3 off, then LED 1 off, LED 2 on and LED 3 off, and so on. This indicates that the coding of LED pattern 1 is correct. This pattern will be executed repeatedly until the push button is clicked. After clicking the push button, the circuit will run the coding of pattern 2 LED configuration, where LEDs will blink simultaneously. LED 1, 2 and 3 will on, and then all LED off, and repeat. This indicates that the coding of LED pattern 2 is correct. This pattern will be executed repeatedly until the push button is clicked again. After clicking the push button for the second time, the circuit will run the coding of pattern 3 LED configuration, where LEDs will blink in an alternate manner. LED 1 on, LED 2 off, LED 3 on, then LED 1 off, LED 2 on, LED 3 off, and repeat. This indicates that the coding of LED pattern 3 is correct. This pattern will be executed repeatedly until the push button is clicked again. When the push button is clicked again, the circuit will run the coding of pattern 1 again, and the loop will repeat until the simulation is manually ended. Here are the problems encountered during the simulation. Sometimes the push button did not work correctly on the first click. Therefore, the push button needed to be clicked as many times as possible until the current pattern of LED changed to the next pattern. So I think that's all for the simulation video. Thank you.